This is Jarrod Horak, and it is Sunday, July 28th, and in this video I'm going to preview the Grade 1 Whitney at Saratoga and take a look at the latest news in the Handicap Division. Now if you're interested in checking out my Saratoga quick pick short videos, you'll find those on my YouTube channel. Just click on the Shorts tab, we'll take you over to that page. I've done 12 stakes races at Saratoga this summer, and my top choices have 8 wins. So I've been on a roll all summer at Saratoga, and you can look for those Saratoga quick pick videos all summer long on my YouTube channel. If you're interested in a bonus free pick each day, go over to my personal website, therunawayrhorse.com. I have a daily blog there. It's called Better Bets. And each day I give out a free pick from around the country with wagering strategies. You can find that at therunawayrhorse.com. And at therunawayrhorse.com on my sales page, I'm doing full cards from Del Mar all summer long, just like I do each year. And you can purchase individual full cards, weekly and weekend packages, and the entire meet. So visit the runawayrhorse.com sales page for more details, and that Del Mar Summer Meet runs now through September 8th. Now we'll preview the Whitney Stakes. They drew that race earlier today, and the Whitney is going to be run at Saturday, August 3rd, 2024 at Saratoga, the 11th race, the Grade 1 $1 million Whitney. For 4-year-olds and up, mile and an eighth on the main track, scheduled post time 5:42 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a full field in here. And later next week, I'm going to come back and I'm going to be doing a handicapping video for the Whitney, giving out my top choice. But right now, we'll just preview the race. Breaking from the inside post is post time for trainer Brittany Russell. This one's 8 for 11 with 2 seconds and a third, so he's always in the top 3. He ran at Saratoga last time, the Grade 1 Met Mile. National Treasure dominated that race. He's in here as well. And post time was able to rally to finish second. So we'll see if he can handle this mile and an eighth distance. He mostly runs at 7 furlongs up to a mile, and now this is his longest and toughest test, and he should save all the ground behind the speed. Disarm, he was a decent 3-year-old last year. He was 4th in the Kentucky Derby, 1st in the Grade 3 Matt Win, 2nd in the Grade 1 Travers. He came back and won an optional claiming race earlier this year, and then in the Grade 1 Stephen Foster, he was 6th, beaten 7 lengths. So he's going to need to elevate his game in his 3rd start after a layoff. National Treasure, probably the one to catch in here. He was my top choice when he won the Grade 1 Preakness last year. He tailed off after that, but then in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile at the end of his 3-year-old season, he almost beat Cody's Wish. He set the pace. Cody's Wish, Horse of the Year, just got up by a nose. National Treasure ran a big race there. The Grade 1 Saudi Cup, he was 4th of 14, and then he dominated that Met Mile last time. So Flavien Prat, Bob Baffert, and look for this one, National Treasure, to try to go wire to wire. Warrior Johny, he's 2 for 3 at Saratoga and 2 for 4 at a mile and an eighth, and a big win at Saratoga at a mile and an eighth. That was on July 11th, rallying from off the pace. But the problem here, this is a Grade 1, not an optional claiming race, so he's going to be really stepping up in class. Now, First Mission, he's one I've always liked. He's 5 for 9 with 2 seconds. He won the Grade 3 Lexington last year, 2nd by a nose in the Grade 2 Clark. In the Pegasus World Cup, that was his worst effort, 9th beaten 20 lengths. And then he won back-to-back graded races, the Grade 3 Essex by 5, the Grade 2 Alysheba in the slop at Churchill Downs by 4, and then the Grade 1 Stephen Foster last time. He battled on the pace and he weakened to 4th in an 8-horse field. Don't think he really wants to be on the lead. I think he wants a target with National Treasure in here and maybe 1 or 2 others with some speed. Look for First Mission to revert to stalking tactics. Miracolo, maybe you can use him underneath. He was nowhere in the Pegasus World Cup. He was 3rd in the Clark before that. He hit the board in multiple stakes races last year, and then the Gulfstream Park Mile this year. That was a Grade 2. He was 3rd. The Grade 3 Ghost Zapper, he won that one. Grade 2 Alysheba, he was 3rd. So he does come in at a price sometimes, and he's one that you can consider underneath. Now, Crupi, big late runner for Todd Pletcher. Irad Ortiz Jr. is going to ride back. Now this one in the Grade 2 Suburban at Saratoga on June 8th, speed favoring track, he went last to first. Then the Grade 2 Brooklyn at a mile and 3/8 on July 5th. He rallied from last to finish 2nd, but next, the favorite there, dominated that one by 9 lengths. So Crupi ran a decent race. Look for him to be running late. He's 2 for 4 at Saratoga, 3 for 8 at a mile and an eighth. We'll have to see if he can step up and beat a Grade 1 field. Now Tumbarumba, he's 5 for 15 with 5 seconds and 2 thirds. He's 0 for 2 at this mile and an eighth distance with a 2nd and a 3rd. Hasn't run at Saratoga yet. He's in decent form. His last 5 races, he's been part of the Exacta. He just missed by a neck in the Go Zapper Gulfstream Park Mile. He missed by a nose. He did win the Grade 3 Fred Hooper, and then a little listed stake last time he was second, stepping up in class. Bright future for Todd Pletcher. Javier Castellano is aboard. I like this one. He won a mile and an eighth race at Saratoga last summer by 4, chasing from second. Grade 1 Jockey Club Gold Cup, he won that by a nose, and then he was belatedly running on late in the Breeders' Cup Classic. He was 6th in a 12-horse field. Then the Salvatore Mile, the Grade 3 return at 1 mile. That was at Monmouth Park, and he had nice late interest there, winning by a length and 3/4. So he was doing his best running late at a distance that's probably a bit short. Mile and an eighth is a good distance. He's 2 for 2 at Saratoga, 1 for 1 in a mile and an eighth. He's got some tactical speed. Skippylongstocking has always done his best races, best work at a mile and an eighth. 10 starts, 4 wins, a second and 2/3. He's earned more than $1.8 million at this mile and an eighth distance. He was 3rd in the Foster. Before that, Oaklawn Handicap, he won that one. Grade 3 Challenger, he won that one. So he's in decent form. He's got tactical speed, but he seems to be a cut below the best. Jose Ortiz is going to ride. Arthur's Ride, number 11 for Bill Mott. 3 wins in 2 seconds from 6 starts and 1 win in 2 seconds from 3 starts at Saratoga. Now, he hasn't run at a mile and an eighth, but he proved that he can handle 2 turns at Saratoga. That was on June 7th. And in that mile and a quarter race, he just got out there and controlled the pace, and he won by 12, and he earned a big speed rating. He's not going to be able to control the pace with National Treasure in here, and from an outer draw, but he will be up on the pace, probably chasing that one. We'll have to see how this pace ends up shaking out. Charge It, number 12 for Todd Pletcher. He's one that you can never really trust. You just don't know what you're going to get from him. The Gulfstream Park Mile of 2023, he was second. He won the Grade 2 Suburban in 2023, and then since then he really hasn't been much of a threat. The Grade 3 Westchester, he did finish 3rd last time out. Of the Hampton Stakes, he was 5th in a 9-horse field. Tough post. He's not in the best form of his career. He's he seems up against it in here. So that's an early preview of the Whitney. It looks like there's a decent amount of speed. I would expect National Treasure to be out there. Arthur's Ride, trying to go with him. Then you have horses like First Mission, Bright Future, probably stalking the pace. They seem like interesting contenders if National Treasure is forced to go too fast on the lead. So as I said, we're going to come back later next week, and I'm going to take a deeper dive into the Whitney and give out my top choice. And now we'll talk about some of the other races in the handicap division recently. Now, we had a prep race at Del Mar for the Grade 1 Pacific Classic, and that was the Grade 2 San Diego on July 27th. And Arabian Knight, the Pacific Classic winner from last year, came off of a layoff. That was his first start since the Breeders' Cup Classic last year. And for Arabian Knight, he was the heavy favorite, 40 cents on the dollar. And he got out there and he set the pace, but he weakened. He just didn't hang in there. Dr. Venkman stretching out in distance. He was pressing Arabian Knight. He took over the lead. He won by a length there. And then the longest shot in the field, Katona was second. Express Train was third. Didn't seem like a strong prep. Dr. Venkman, I do like him, but I'm not sure about the mile and a quarter distance. But we know he can at least go a mile and a 16th now. So his trainer, Mark Glatt, definitely has options in the future to see what direction they want to go. As for Arabian Knight, big disappointment in his first start of the year. Definitely doesn't look ready to go in the Pacific Classic. He would have to really improve if they end up going in that spot. And we'll talk about some other horses in that handicap division. Kingsbarns is one for trainer Todd Pletcher that's in good form right now. He's 3 for 4 this year with a second. He was first in the Ben Ali. He was second to Pyrenees in the Grade 3 Pimlico Special, and then he turned the tables on that rival in the Grade 1 Stephen Foster. And now he's pointing to the Jockey Club Gold Cup. So for Kingsbarns, very good at a mile and 3/16, mile and an eighth, mile and a quarter. Good distances for him, and he's got good tactical speed. Now, Red Route 1 for trainer Steve Asmussen. He was first in the Grade 3 Cornhusker in his last start. He's a big late runner, and he goes next, most likely in the Charlestown Classic on August 23rd. And then finally, Tapit Trice. He was my Derby horse in 2023, and he had a decent year. He won some stakes races. He hit the board in the Travers Stakes. He's a Grade 1 winner from last year. He won the Bluegrass Stakes. So he scratched twice earlier this year. He had a foot issue. They couldn't get him to the races, and then he finally made his first start as a 4-year-old in the Grade 3 Monmouth Cup at a mile and an eighth. That was on the Haskell undercard at Monmouth Park. That was on July 20th. And he stalked wide there, and he was from the outside post, and he just kicked away in the stretch. He won by 5 1/4 lengths. And the horse that he beat, Grade 3 Blame Stakes winner Highland Falls. So he beat a decent horse in his first start in many months. Now, Irad Ortiz Jr., he rode Tapit Trice last time, so he's his rider. And he is targeting the Grade 1 Jockey Club Gold Cup at Saratoga on September 1st. So this handicap division is wide open. There really isn't a leader, just like the 3-year-old division, the handicap division, crying out for a leader. We'll have to see what happens in the second half of the year if we can get some horses with some consistency in the 3-year-old division and in the handicap division. Because right now the Breeders' Cup Classic later this year is looking like a wide open race. So we'll have to see all of that shakes out as we keep going in 2024. A lot of big races coming up this summer. At the Whitney this weekend. We're going to have the Pacific Classic. We got the Travers, the Pennsylvania Derby. So many big races still to come before the Breeders' Cup, and hopefully we'll start to see some leaders in these divisions. Right now, as I said, both divisions up for grabs. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this horse racing content, and keep checking my YouTube channel for all of these horse racing videos. As I said, next week I'll come back and I'm going to be doing the Whitney Stakes. I'm going to be doing some short, quick pick videos at Saratoga next week. Plenty of those on the docket. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.